Well, greetings, faithful followers. This is your old pal, Brother Jack Angry, bringing you another edition of Movie Night Live from the Monastery of Mayhem and the Angry Brothers Omaha, Shaka Rama. I know we've been gone a while, and we've missed our fans and all our friends, and judging by the cards and letters that we get every week, I'd say a lot of you are missing us as well. Well, we want to give nothing but loves to our fans and our friends, our supporters, our Facebook friends, our friends on Twitter, so on and so forth. As long as you guys keep writing in saying how much you like the show and the episodes we do, we're going to keep making them for you. Alright, now with that being said, again, it's just going to be your old pal, Brother Jack, today. Brother James is working. He's got it out there keeping his nose to the grindstone and keeping his customers happy. Now, as you might be noticing, I do have a new stick here. I want to thank our good friends at Spirit Halloween. Let me just come in a little closer here, and so you can take a look at that. You know, that is their Dragon Claw cane with the glow-in-the-dark orb on it. Looks pretty cool. You'll see pictures of this posted on our Facebook page. And if you want it, I got it for a really sweet price, $19.95 at Spirit Halloween. It's normally $24.99, but I had a 20% off coupon. Gotta love Spirit. If anything, they load you down with the coupons. So if you need for all your Halloween needs, be sure and visit Spirit Halloween. They have one which is, I believe, 78th and it's on 72nd Street, where the old Office Depot used to be, right across from the Taco John's, and 132nd and Center in the old Big Lots building. So be sure and check them out. Spirit Halloween for all of your Halloween haunting and prop needs. Be sure and tell them the Angry Brothers sent you. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead here and let's get into let's do a little house cleaning, shall we? Alright, well, the first thing is I want to throw a big shout out to our new friends, which is the Madness Haunted House over in Council Bluffs. They're located at the Omaha, or at the Mall of the Bluffs. The building looks like a big red barn. You can't miss it. Be sure and stop by and tell them that the Angry Brothers sent you. It's the first year they're running their haunt, so let's give them a lot of love and show them a lot of support. Now, I do know that they appeared on the Hacks TV show on Sunday. Let's hope that decision doesn't come back to bite him in the ass. Because we all know, Brother Jack knows a few things, and, you know, but what he knows he's going to keep to himself in the interest of playing nice, and, you know, there's a lot of noise, a lot of controversy about some things, and we don't want to get involved in that. So we're just going to leave it go at that. But if you're smart, you'll do some research, and you'll find out the story for yourself, and trust me, there is one. But anyway, with that little bit of business out of the way, it's almost October. Today is the 27th, and so we're just right around the corner from the Halloween season. Good news, I mean, if you are going to Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, all these places have their Halloween props out, so they've got some really good selections, some really great stuff this year, so you're definitely going to want to check them out. You know, obviously the Halloween stores are starting to pop up. I believe we've got Spirit has 3 locations, Shadow Lake Mall, 132nd Center, and their 72nd Street location, which is again the old Office Depot building, it's the old Office Max building right across from the Red Lobster and Taco John's. So you're definitely going to want to check them out. Great people, great stuff, great selection. Alright, well, as it is the Halloween season, you know, and we kind of thought long and hard about the movie we're going to bring you tonight. And, you know, we thought we'd get back to kind of the roots, kind of the classic. You know, monsters, drama, human pathos, and all that good shit. So we're bringing you tonight's feature from 1979, Prophecy. And no, this is not the Christopher Walken movie where he's the angel and they're eating each other's hearts and all that other stuff. No, we'd get our asses sued off if we tried to show you that movie. No, we're showing you Prophecy. This is a 1979 opus starring Robert Foxworth, Talia Shire, Armand Assanti, and Richard Dysart. And obviously I would say you probably know who none of these people are, because let's face it, most of my audiences, when this movie was going on, you were all still in diapers. You know, I don't know why. We don't claim to be kid friendly, you know, but we get quite a few young people liking us. But I mean, if you're a parent and you're under 18 and your kids are watching us, you have failed as a parent. You know, you might as well go down to your local strip bar and get your daughter signed up on a pole. Sorry, Dad, you fucked up. No other way to say it. Nothing but love for you, but you done blew it as a father. Okay, well, to give you a little plot about Prophecy, this movie is set in the woods of Maine, aka British Columbia, you know, which being here is common because this movie marked one of the first usage of British Columbia as a filming location, starting what was called the Hollywood North movement of the late 70s into the 80s and early 90s. And basically what I mean by Hollywood North is a lot of Hollywood production companies at that time were packing up their crews and their equipment and moving and shooting in British Columbia, Canada, because of A, the more lucrative tax incentives that they were given, the promotional money they were given to shoot in British Columbia, and establishing that as a must-go-to location for film production companies. And the Canadian government was very generous with money, resources, supplies, and other incentives to bring American filming companies to British Columbia, to the Great White North, you know. It wasn't just because everybody liked back bacon and poutine. No, wasn't that. It was cheaper to film in British Columbia than it was in Hollywood at that time. And some another little bit of trivia for you. The TV show Supernatural is filmed in British Columbia, and its two starring actors, Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki, both live in British Columbia. So, you know, I know Jared Padalecki is a native of, I believe, Austin, Texas, but he lives up there with his wife, Genevieve Cortez, who you would remember played the demon Ruby, you know. Okay, he married himself a hottie, you know, you can't blame him. Nothing but love, Jared, nothing but love. Anyhow, the movie Prophecy is basically, it had an underlying theme of, basically it was a cautionary tale on what's going to happen to the ecosystem if we keep wholesale dumping of poisons in our lakes, rivers, and our wooded areas. In this case, a paper mill dumping large amounts of toxic waste into local rivers, streams, and lakes. And the aftermath of that, which is the mutations created. We all saw the scene with the kid in the yellow sleeping bag go sailing across the clearing, hits the rock, and poof, feathers all over the place. Yeah, we all got a good laugh out of that one. It was probably voted one of the 10 most amusing deaths in horror movie history. Yeah, I know some of you out there laughing. You're all looking it up on YouTube right now, snickering your little asses off. Hey, look at that kid go flying, you know? Yeah, well, that's basically what it was based on. The movie is about the carnage wrought by a mutated bear and her 3 mutated cubs. The bear being, you know, crazed and insane because of the amount of genetic damage and mutation it suffered because of these chemicals being dumped into the local lakes, streams, and rivers, and the human carnage when this becomes apparent. Namely, we've got cover-ups by corrupt local officials, you know, government cover-ups, local government cover-ups, the whole thing. You know, it's a shit show, people. And this movie was voted one of the top 10 worst monster movies for the period of the 20th century by Rotten Tomatoes, matched only by movies such as Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Megaforce, which isn't a horror movie, but again it bears the distinction of being one of the worst movies of the 20th century. And guess which one we're running next week? I'll let you think. I'll let you mull over that one for a minute or two. We're going to go ahead and bring you Prophecy, starring Robert Foxworth, Talia Shire, Armand Assanti, and Richard Dysart. Here on the Angry Brothers Omaha Rama. I think you all are really going to enjoy this, and enjoy.
I got all the tree experts I need. I need someone who can deal with people.
All this stuff about the paper companies ruining the forest, that's pure myth.
These are the people from the government.
Is that enough? He has awakened to protect us.
There's definitely something wrong.
What is it?
What's the meaning of this?
It's the answer, Mr. Isley. Did you know? I didn't want to.
It is not the offspring of witchcraft or Satan. And it will mindlessly kill every living thing it meets. Prophecy, the monster movie. Rated PG.
See Prophecy, now showing at a theater near you.
Well, greetings, faithful followers. Welcome back. What do you think of Prophecy so far? Doesn't this movie suck? Yeah, I know. But the scene with the kid getting knocked across the clearing and breaking in half on the rock, that was funny. Yes, it was. I mean, we all got a good laugh out of that. Even Brother Jack, as jaded as he is, got a little bit of a chuckle when the little ferret gets knocked across the clearing and poof, feathers everywhere. Looks like a down pillow exploded all over the place. Yeah, good times, good times. You know, some more little bits of trivia about about this movie. This movie is actually rated by Stephen King, the author of The Stand, It, Carrie, Needful Things, Misery. You know the titles. I don't need to go into that crap. He rates this as actually one of his favorite movies. He, in an interview in regards to this movie that was done back in like 1996, which was like on the 9th anniversary of the movie's release. He was asked about it because he praised the the author and the screenwriter for tackling a particularly touchy subject at that time, the the consequences and the damage that factories like the paper mill in the story do to the environment and to the local wildlife with the dumping of chemicals, and even by a third party, third-hand chance to us. Because let's face it, all those poisoned, mutated fish, when you go to Long John Silver's, guess what you're getting? Or you have that fillet of fish at McDonald's, or your fish and chips at Long John Silver's, guess what you're getting? That's right, you're getting a load of chemicals. Mercury. It's a biggie. Google it. Check it out. The movie was also, there was a lot of security about the movie, around the movie I should say, based on the ecological theme, the damage, the cover-ups, and this prompted the film production company to employ an extra layer of security. The crew were forced to sign gag orders if they wanted to work on the production. The actors were sworn to secrecy, and the production company actually hired a set photographer, basically any publicity stills. Photographers weren't allowed on the lots while they were filming. They had one person who was the set photographer, and he was an ex-CIA operative who was working for the production company as a photographer, and he was also there to oversee their security. Now, okay, let me do my Patrick Stewart impersonation here. Why the fuck does a movie company need an ex-CIA operative for security? I mean, the Star Wars films didn't even get that. What are they trying to hide in these movies? Little suspicious, it's a little dodgy, but anyway. That's one of the little unknown bits of trivia about this film. Also, another bit of trivia. Robert Foxworth. This completed Robert Foxworth monster movie 4. His monster movie foreplay, as it were, because in the last 4 previous years prior to doing Prophecy, he had done several other well-known horror films, including The Omen and a few others. And basically, this kind of established him as an actor in the bad grade B horror genre. So, props to Robert Foxworth. Nothing but love for you. Talia Shire, as you know, she went on to become famous playing Adrian in the Rocky films. I think it was immediately after she did this film, when it was released, some of the producers of Rocky saw her in this film, liked the dramatic range that she was able to do, in spite of the bad story, the rubber monster special effects and the over-the-top violence, which much of it was edited out by the studio. This movie, by all rights, should have had an R rating, but they edited it down to a PG rating because they thought it might increase the audience, making it popular on the Halloween and drive-in circuits. But, they kind of cut the balls right off the movie, as it were, and made it a somewhat watered-down version of its former self, which the producers never were happy of it. And to this day, the producer, whose name escapes me at the moment, when asked about this, still insists that the studio basically hamstrung him as far as this movie is concerned, because it could have actually been a contender for being if not a major iconic film, it would have been remembered up there, at least in the top 10, top 15 better horror films of the 20th century. But this is what we get, so we're bringing it to you. And on that happy note, we're going to get back to Prophecy, starring Robert Foxworth, Talia Shire, Armand Assanti, and Richard Dysart here on the Angry Brothers Omaha Shocker Rama. Enjoy. Greetings, faithful followers. Welcome back. What did y'all think of Prophecy? I mean, what did you think of the bear in the big rubber suit, you know? It's like, and all that shit, you know? I mean, it's like, I almost felt sorry for the bear. It's like, how much Vaseline did you need to coat on this dude in the bear suit to get that slimy looking appearance, you know, that mutated appearance? And then when you had the cubs dying in the stream and everything all fucked up from the mutations, I mean, I almost felt sorry for the little guys, you know, almost. It's like, yeah, are they dead yet? Yeah, you know, finally some fucking peace and quiet. You know, and then they left us on that little note on the ending, you know. She had been eating all that fish caught out of the river, so she probably took in a pretty healthy dose of mercury, and, you know, so 9 months down the road when, you know, she delivers her little load of crotch fruit, you know, she's probably going to have a lousy afternoon. There's, you know, it's like, it's a boy, but it has 4 eyes, you know, or... You know, it's like, you know, don't worry, you'll find something to do with that. Find some way of disguising that extra arm. You know, enjoy it, lady. You got the bonus package. But anyway, you know, so the movie had some pretty deep underlying themes. I mean, let's face it, this is the only planet we've got, people. And if we don't all start pulling our heads out and start figuring out what we can do to kind of help slow down the destruction of our air, our water, our lands, you know, we're all going to be a bunch of hurting units. You know, I mean, I'm a zombie, so whatever ecological disaster comes down the pike isn't going to affect me that much. You know, me and the cockroaches will still be here long after all you out there have gone the way of the dodo. You know, and it's pretty much going to be me and cockroaches. Well, the hack might still make it, because let's face it, he is a big cockroach. I mean, I know that guy lives in mortal fear of one day a giant can of Raid is going to come after him, and that's going to be all she wrote. But anyway, you know, just a little something to think about here. I mean, you know, when you think about throwing that trash out of your car, you know, or you might want to think about next time you change your oil, just go out and think you're going to go out and dump it in a ditch somewhere. You know, that stuff just doesn't magically go away. That oil's going to lay there and pool up in the ground and do God knows what to the groundwater and everything else. And you know, you want to dump that trash, just dump that trash anywhere. You know, it's going to lay there for about the next, I don't know, 10,000 years. You know, so why don't we all start trying to be just a little bit more responsible about how we treat, you know, old Mother Earth. And remember, I mean, this is all we got, people. We fucked this up. There's no reset button. You know, basically, this is not a dress rehearsal, and this ain't a simulation. This is the real deal. If we screw this up, we're all done. You know. Because Brother Jack, I mean, it wouldn't be much fun to do this show if there's no audience. So that's just a little word of advice from me to y'all out there. All right, well, next week we've got a special treat for you. We're going to bring you the worst movie ever made. And this one is agreed on by pretty much everyone. This is the 1978 classic, and I use the term classic. It is with my tongue firmly planted in my cheek, you know, Megaforce, starring Barry Bostwick, Persis Kambata, Henry Silva, Edward Mulhare, and Robert Fuller. And if you watched like 70s TV, you'd know exactly who Robert Fuller was. Played the Dr. Kelly Brackett on Emergency. One of my shows, totally binge watching worthy. And speaking of binge watching, let's go ahead and pay our good friends www.bingeout.com a visit. Look up Emergency. Hell, look up some of these great movies that I've talked about. Prophecy, Megaforce. You can find information on them at bingeout.com or YouTube or any other. IMDb is a great source, people. You can find a lot of really great information about these films and shows there. And you're definitely going to want to check them out. Because these shows, yes, they're bad. These movies suck, but they're part of our history. And for me, you know, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have shitty movies like these to show. So, you know, every movie can't be a Dracula with Bela Lugosi or a Frankenstein with Boris Karloff. You've got your prophecies, you've got your megaforces, we've got our invasion of the saucer men, and ooh, shit, that is a pretty good one. I'll have to remember that for coming up here in the future. I mean, we've got a lot of great movies, and fortunately, we've got some great resources that keep these films and bring them to, so we can actually bring them to y'all, and you can enjoy them along with us. So, and remember, since it is the Halloween season, be sure to visit your local haunted house. These people work very hard on what they do to bring you these attractions, the actors. So visit them early, visit them often, and show them as much love as you can. With that note, and next week we're bringing you Megaforce from 1978, starring Barry Bostwick, Michael Beck, Persis Kambata, Henry Silver, and Edward Mulhare. So again, you're not going to want to miss this one. You know, you're going to want to break out that Saturday morning breakfast cereal, get your jammies on, and plant your ass in front of the TV. I'm Brother Jack Angry, and reminding all of you to keep America on top. Let's watch Horror Host, y'all. Good night and unpleasant dreams.